Can a woman be in love with two men at the same time?
A man can be in love with two women and a woman can be in love with two men.
This woman has been cheated on and of course she is feeling a lot of anger. पर वो उस anger से कैसे deal करे?
Anger is very natural. When we marry the family. And it can sometimes get very overwhelming for the daughter-in-law.
Renu ji, how do we set boundaries, especially emotional boundaries with our in-laws? Because in the Indian context, somehow आपके साथ रहें कि ना रहें, in-laws are always a part of your life. So how do we handle it delicately and smartly?
It is very true that when we marry the family. And it can sometimes get very overwhelming for the daughter-in-law. Because in our culture, it's the daughter-in-law who leaves her home, her identity, everything, and her parents and family.
And her toothbrush. You said that.
Everything changes for her. And the boy is quite comfortable, in his own environment as if he's living with his parents. But even otherwise, there's a kind of a right that the boy's parents feel over the girl's lifestyle. So, yes, today, women are working, they're as educated, they're as opinionated. So they have to set some boundaries and it's nothing wrong. The only thing is it has to be done in the right way.
So what is the right way?
Okay, so there is a skill which is called assertiveness. Assertiveness means being able to express your opinion without blaming the other person, without being rude, without exaggerating, you always do this or you never do this or something like that. So whatever you think right, whatever you believe in, you must express in a very concrete, direct way. I would like this. Own your feelings that I find it hard to deal with this. And another very important thing is that when you express your request, you must recognize the rights of the other person and your own self. Even you have rights, but the other person also has rights. So whether it is looking after grandchildren when you're going to work, instead of demanding it, you can just arrive at a consensus, express very directly, ask your in-laws whether you're okay. आज आपको कहीं जाना है. So, things like that and express your thanks for being there for you. So there's a way of doing things, but if you're going to be very rude and imposing, it will not be taken well.
So Renu ji, और क्या issues आते हैं in setting emotional or even physical boundaries with in-laws?
Yes, sometimes some in-laws think that they have to be a part of everything. There was one lady who said, my in-laws expect to be taken to every outing that we do, every holiday. And my father-in-law always says, why 4 of you? Why not 6 of us? So, she says, even we need time with the nuclear family. I need time with my husband. So, this has to be dealt with very nicely that, yes, we would love to take you, but we'll go on another trip with you. So, don't reject the idea, but say it in a nice way. So, even in-laws should respect the need for privacy of the couple and the nuclear family.
Very true. So, Renu ji, this woman has been cheated on and of course she is feeling a lot of anger. पर वो उस anger से कैसे deal करे? The anger that she wants to just burn everything down. And she's always getting angry at her husband. So how does one deal with it?
Anger is very natural. There are many feelings that happen, that come in the woman. One is anger. There's a sense of rejection. There's a low self-esteem, sense of being a failure. They're all very valid and they're very natural. But, in fact, I want to tell you about a theory. Elizabeth Kubler-Ross and many other psychologists, they have identified 5 stages of grief. This is love loss, When grief happens, the person has died. Now, during infidelity, the person has cheated on you and there is a sense of loss of love. There is a sense of being taken for granted, a sense of being cheated. So obviously, anger is a very natural phenomenon. So as I was saying, Elizabeth Kubler-Ross talks about 5 stages of reactions. The first is shock and denial. Second is anger, severe anger at the person, at yourself, at the family, at God, at children sometimes. Then comes a third stage of bargaining. You bargain with the person.
What is bargaining?
Bargaining as in, okay, I'll accept if you have another woman, but don't leave me. And even with God, I'll do this puja, I'll do this fasting or whatever. So all types. And then after that comes depression. That's the longest phase. When a person gets into depression, when there's a finality that this person has left me forever,
Or cheated and
you can't get over it. And then the 5th stage is acceptance. That is when you accept the reality and move on.
So how long is this whole grief?
It's different for every individual. Now, you asked me how to deal with this anger. And for dealing with this anger, it's very tough because it's going to affect you physically and mentally, socially, at your workplace, with your children, everything. So you have to deal with it in a very healthy way. Share, share with your friends, your family, whoever is, don't keep it bottled up. Because that will be like a pressure cooker. And also the best option that I find is journaling, writing your feelings down. Or maybe exercise, run it out, dance it out, or use painting, music. But the best way to deal with it is to take professional help. Because there are professionals who can guide you, help you along the way, along the journey. So that would be really advisable.
Can a marriage survive infidelity and go back to what it was? Or what are the signs?
Yes, of course it can. See, every situation is different. Every personality is different. And if after infidelity, if the other person, the perpetrator, is genuinely sorry about it and takes action to repair the damage done, and the wife is accepting enough, loves him enough to have him back. And there can be many other reasons also, including social and financial. So everything depends on the person's concerned. And in fact, I have known, there's a colleague many, many years ago whose husband had been into infidelity, but he came back and she used to tell me, she says, he's given me more love and care than he has given me grief.
Really?
She had a wonderful marriage after the infidelity.
Wow. So then, yeah, it can work out.
It can work out depending on each person's efforts, personalities, circumstances. There's so many social factors involved.
So Renuji, one of the things I get a lot is that once you are like in your late 50s and 60s, you are somehow always babysitting your kids, on 31st and Holi, on Diwali or whatever. So how do we even set boundaries with our children? Because people in their 50s and 60s also want to kind of enjoy life.
Yes, absolutely. This is something that happens when you're living in a joint family or you're living nearby, that the kids are, offloaded and you are expected to look after them. To a certain extent, it's desirable. Grandparents love it. But if it goes beyond a certain level, then it's really not fair. So again, boundaries have to be stated by you.
So how can we do that?
Again, using assertiveness, telling them very plainly that I love you all, we love your kids, but we need to go out, I'm not feeling well today, or I get tired. Say it, but in a nice way. And you can not make them feel unwanted. But for boundaries generally, not just regarding grandchildren, you have to understand your role as a parent of adult children. You have to stop being interfering. You have helped them grow to mature individuals. Stop interfering, stop questioning. Some parents want to know everything. And very often kids don't want to. I mean, they have their own privacy. So instead of interfering, just show that I'm there, but only up to a point. I have limited time, limited energy, so I will do this. Then give respect to your adult children. If you respect them, they will respect you back. You've got to earn that respect.
सो रेनू जी, ये जब आपके पास women and men आते हैं अपने issues लेके, what is something that you would like to point out, something different? Can a woman be in love with two men at the same time?
Yes. A man can be in love with two women and a woman can be in love with two men, because love has so many styles, so many characteristics, just like a parent can love two children. And the kind of needs one person fulfills for you may be different from the needs that are being fulfilled by the other person.
Can you talk about it?
For example, there was a lady who was married, and she was brought to me by her husband. I mean, they came together. The husband doted on her and she doted on her husband, but she was involved with a married man,
Okay.
her classmate from school and college. And it seemed that for her, the husband was giving her the protection, the legal, financial, every kind of status. And this friend of hers, her interaction with him was largely protective for him, because he was into alcohol and depression.
So what happened? Was she feel like why would you be in love with a person who's depressed and who's an alcoholic?
She felt very satisfied. I think she felt a sense of power, a sense of achievement, because in the marriage she was always the taker.
Oh.
And here she was the giver. She was able to help this guy, and the person depended on her a lot. So I guess it's different needs, We have a need for love, we have a need to be protected, we have a need to be effective, to be needed by someone. So I guess different needs were being fulfilled by each man.
So one can be in love, but
But it's traumatic for the person concerned. It's traumatic for the spouse concerned.
and it must also be very difficult for the woman herself.
Of course.
Like sailing into both.
Of course. She was full of guilt feelings. She was so traumatized. She wanted to come out of it, but she was not able to. It was really hard.